So just recently was the annual Al Smith dinner in New York, where Catholics, presidential candidates, and Jews and other religious groups gathered together to do like a celebrity roast of each other. It is not a charity dinner for one of Will Smith's family members. I just want to point that out. This is the annual event where presidential candidates gather upon each other to jokingly make attacks at each other again, like a celebrity roast, but it's all for charity base within Catholicism. Which, if you've seen recently, the settlement that just got out with the Catholic priests and members of victims of minor abuse by priests and pedophilia and child molestation, you know where this money is going towards. That's the sad part about it. All that money that's going towards this charity, all the money that you throw into your, Sunday mass collection plates, know where that money is going towards. It's going towards lawyers to defend pedophilia and child molestation done by Catholic priests. That's where that money is going towards. And now there's just a release of a huge settlement. I think it was like the millions or billions, just how big it was. So at this event, they had a celebrity MC, and they had on Jim Gaffigan, who is, a very interesting guy, very kind of, average comedian. I wouldn't say he's like a top, hard hitting. He's kind of like a corporate comedian. He doesn't really, hit the balls as much as other people, but he's kind of a delight. He's a good stand up. He has some good jokes. And considering the fact that this is a very high up, elitist, kind of aristocratic event where we have seen comedians that do push the envelope, and I'm referring to the Michelle Wolf incident where they had the press dinner, the press gathering, and Michelle Wolf made some comments about the press and CNN and the Democrats, and do political riffs based on the negligence of these parties. And immediately following that, they stopped having comedians. They said, we got to stop this, because they were petrified that a comic that was invited to this dinner was throwing some shade, throwing some callbacks, and brutalizing them, hilariously brutalizing them, and being upfront and honest on just how disparaging the Democratic Party is to working class people. So after Michelle Wolf, they said, no, we're going to get a historian this time. And then they realized how awful that was and how nobody was going to watch for a historian. So then they sat for a while. Then COVID came around. Then all of a sudden, hey, we got to bring back the comic value to this, because that's the only thing that's keeping these parties alive, is having a comic there. And that's where they get the SNL, kiss ass to make gushy noises to Joe Biden. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, but Jim Gaffigan, I feel like there could be opportunity to push the envelope, but let's see here.
The Democrats have been telling us Trump's re-election is a threat to democracy. In fact, they were so concerned of this threat, they staged a coup, ousted their democratically elected incumbent, and installed Kamala Harris. In other words, all her dreams have come true. Really? It really makes you consider the power of prayer, right, Cardinal? Sometimes prayers take 3.5 years and a George Clooney op-ed.
That's kind of a good one. That's a good one. Because definitely that Clooney endorsement. No one takes more politics seriously than pretty boy George Clooney, right? Am I right? That's a good joke for Jim Gaffigan. Like I said, I wasn't expecting like a hard-hitting George Carlin, Bill Hicks bit, but for kind of a corporatized comedian, much like Stephen Colbert, not like old Colbert, but current Colbert, this is kind of what I was expecting. Maybe a bit more than I was expecting, but just, kind of on the right ballpark, considering the room full of people there. It looks like seeing all these old, ugly faces It looks like the audition room for like a Nosferatu film. It looks like they're trying to reboot Dracula, and they got like the hiring committee for all the actors going to play him. Like, look at Michael Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg, he looks like he's wearing a mask. That can't be a person's face. Look at that. Look at right there, front row. I don't know if you can see it right there, front row with the green bow tie there. That can't be a real face. That can't be a real face. Like, there's just, was that all the, like, wax and, like, plastic from all the, 2-liter bottle bands? He just put it onto his face. Like, what is that? And there's Chuck Schumer on the right next to the podium, just like, oh, my God, I can't believe, why didn't I skip out? Why didn't I hire my body double to take this? Because this is the thing about comics. This is the beauty of it, is sometimes, you get the comics that are going to be absolutely, gushy, kiss ass, like Colin Jost of SNL, who gushed about Biden during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Or you get, hard-hitting comedians that you kind of don't expect are going to throw out punches, like they did with Michelle Wolf. Yes, she kind of was more left-wing kind of sided when she did more punches towards, Sarah Huckabee Sanders and that kind of styling. But she did push the envelope when it came to CNN, when she talked about the New York Times failing, when she talked about how the Democrats are just, they pretty much love Trump even though they love to hate him. That kind of relationship. So, in essence, you don't know what you're going to get with comedians. And they do bring the life to a just dull, boring, just establishment get-together. Like, this is just a Klan meeting for them. Here's another Jim Gaffigan moment at this event.
Of course, Joe Biden was our second Catholic president, right? After JFK. President Biden couldn't be here tonight. The DNC made sure of that. Oh, that's... I guess I'm the only one that reads history. Of course, Joe Biden was...
I'm pretty sure they wanted Joe Biden to be there, but Joe Biden accidentally went to Al Sharpton's house. I was told to go to an Al. You're Al, right? You're Al. How many Als are in this world? I'm at the right spots. Where's the ice cream? Where's the ice cream? Yeah, Joe Biden couldn't be here tonight because his staffers told him not to. Oddly enough, do you notice that in this room, you could see Donald Trump there, you could see Melania, you could see Chuck Schumer, you could see Michael Bloomberg. Guess who's not there? Kamala Harris or Tim Walz. Isn't that interesting? It's almost like the president of the current and the president that's the presidential nominee that's running follow similar directions. Because I'm sure Kamala Harris, took directions from her own staffers to not attend this. I mean, really? Just jokes about me? I can't deal with that. I need control. I need safe space. I don't want to be burdened by what has been. Yeah, I can't do a Kamala Harris impression. Not as good as other people. That's a good line. That's another good line from Mr. Gaffigan, who I believe is also Catholic. He's like a predominant Catholic. Him and Colbert like share similar circles, which, again, you don't know what to expect from this. Because Jim Gaffigan, who is very much kind of sided with the elites, sided with, the establishment. He's very establishment friendly, which is why he gets a lot more events than certain other comedians because he doesn't push the envelope. But at the same time, he does bring out, little hit bits like this, like the fact Joe Biden's not going to show up. Kamala Harris is not going to show up. There was another clip, too, that he said, like, I don't know whether to call you global elites or just, coastal elites. Which exactly the point of these dinners. It's elitism. It's the cultivization of elites gathering together to make believe that there's some sort of difference that, Donald Trump's going to hit back on Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is going to hit back. And, isn't it such goody fun? It's just like, your boys at the bar. Except you're donating to a charity that's going to defend, child rapists. Sexual predators of children. The priests that got off easily with their settlements and just get relocated. Just, not to be a Debbie Downer on this. So here's another clip here that I want to show of Gaffigan. And now he's going to go and riff on Kamala Harris, which, again, I'm surprised a little bit on Jim Gaffigan to take this measure. But listen to this.
This event has been referred to as the Catholic Met Gala. 22% of Americans identify as Catholic. Catholics will be a key demographic in every battleground state. I'm sorry, why is Vice President Harris not here? I mean, consider this. This is a room full of Catholics and Jews in New York City. This is a layup for the Democratic nominee. I mean, in her defense, she did find time to appear on The View, Howard Stern, Colbert, and the longtime staple of campaigning, the Call Her Daddy podcast. This event has...
So that was kind of a milquetoast jab at Kamala's absence. Did I say absence? Absence of the event here. And, for her sake, the fact that, to me, it just seems like Kamala Harris is avoiding this because of the fact that they know there's going to be heavy-hitting jabs with Trump being there and other people that know her offhand, know about, her horrible campaign, and there's a lot of material that comics can make about this. Like, it's easy to, unfortunately, make fun of Kamala Harris. Like, it's easy material to write on just how blatant and awful and just sour she makes us feel every time her presence is known. It is the burden by what has been. I was a middle-class child. It was a debate, Colbert. Just how off-putting that is. And not as off-putting as seeing some of the ugly faces of other death. I'm sorry. I just can't stop looking at Michael Bloomberg's, non-human face. Like, if lizard people do exist, this is the kind of the human mask that they put on themselves. Just that can't be real. But good for Gaffigan that he kind of somewhat a little bit pushed a bit of that envelope. And as we'll get later on to the show, we'll show in another video exactly why Kamala Harris did not attend this event and instead did a videotaped message. Because what better way to show how brave and strong and independent and fierce you're going to be as commander-in-chief than not attend a simple dinner, a charity dinner, where you just crack jokes at each other. Like, if you can't handle this, methinks you're not going to do well as commander-in-chief. Because being commander-in-chief, you have to deal with a lot of pushback. You have to deal with a lot of the press. You have to deal with a lot of negative forces being thrown at you. I mean, your opponent almost got shot twice. Twice. And Trump made jokes about it. He laughs about it now. Your opponent almost got killed twice on stage. And you can't attend a simple dinner where they're just cracking jokes and wise at each other. You can crack beers with Stephen Colbert. You can go on Call Her Daddy and talk about abortions. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. That this is a Catholic dinner. Jim Gaffigan is a predominant Catholic. Maybe it just doesn't feel right being your, pro-abortion like it's Christmas stance. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But you not attending this really showing your cowardliness, not your fierce ability, not your women power agility that people like Taylor Swift would be endorsing. Just saying. Also, Tim Waltz isn't there, the knucklehead.